this episode, we are going to divulge into kind of Joe's opinion, 5 bullet points on what makes a successful team. And we're going to go straight into the first point, and it's people.
So the reason why I'm only sort of saying this with the vets, I think I'm probably saying this on my personal experiences and what I think by playing other clubs, having a look even at vets level on how much organisation and how well vets clubs are run. I don't know whether it's an era thing, because I don't really know sort of how day-to-day runnings of youth football or even semi-pro football or even your local district football goes now. But what I can say with us, with our setup, is I think we have 4 or 5 vets teams. We have 2 vets teams, standard veterans teams. We have an over 45s. We now have an over 50s, and we have a walk-in team, which hasn't been formed by the club. It's basically been formed since our vets team went in. Again, I'll mention him again. Mark Kidd has got great involvement from all different people within our veterans team. And we've somehow got 5 teams, like literally him and along with the other managers that are running the sides, and everything that's been put on by the club to help support it, which it has. I mean, the vets setup is amazing down at Herne now, and it has gone from literally 4 years ago to now, and it's massive. And I think, the people that are involved, I don't know. Like I say, it might be a generational thing, but it's like when you become a vet, you're doing it for the love more than anything else. You're doing it for the love of the game, and the passion and the support we've got from the people that are running the different sectors within the veterans football is brilliant. It actually runs better than a pro club, I think, at times. So I think the people, definitely with veterans, they're doing it because they love doing it. I generally think that's the difference between sort of your standard Saturday district leagues and stuff like that and veterans football. I think the people are, they're doing it because they love the game.
And at Herne Bay Vets, do you have an assistant manager? And literally, what's the dialogue between both of you?
So with me, I stepped in. I've always been a player. I'm not a manager. I did manage last year, and I helped a bit of transitional thing within our club. We lost a lot of players last season. The year before, we were a very strong outfit. We lost quite a few players, brought a few people in. My brother was managing it the year before last, and it was a big change. So I stepped in to sort of see that changeover, if you like, and I still help out, like I say. But Scott's now back involved, and he's running the sort of day-to-day management side of it. And he's got an assistant, which is an ex-player that's injured himself, and a player that's currently playing that's helping out as well, along with myself. I mean, I sort of take warm-ups and stuff like that, and a part of the group with the management, if you like. But we've got sort of 3 or 4 people helping out now, which is quite crazy, really. I think you need it though. Yeah.
So true. Let's go on to point 2, commitment.
The commitment side of it with people, they're committing to play because they want to play now. I mean, I don't know about yourself, but I find that vets football's come along massively within the last, I'd probably say 5 years. I think 5-6 years. I mean, especially down our way, it wasn't a thing. And I think as it's growing, the commitment levels from older players, especially, it's brilliant. You're getting sort of 14, 15 players turning up, wanting to play football, that are sort of 35 and into their 40s, even into their late 40s. I mean, our 45s team, they get 16, because we're part of the same group on WhatsApp. They're getting 16 to 20 people, and they're turning people away on a weekly basis to play. And I think it's great. I think it's great. The commitment shown by people at vets level at the moment, especially down our way, I think it's brilliant. I think if you get that commitment from players, you still get that good level of enjoyment as well.
Do you think the reason why there's a lot more players who are committed to vets football is because of everyone's everyday life, everyday work can be very stressful? So so that you're having somewhere to go on a Saturday or Sunday is more of a stressful, I'd say a stress relief away from the house.
Definitely. I mean, we was only speaking about this. We obviously come up and played in the London Cup Saturday, and I had 2 in with me, and we was one of the lads, I won't mention name, but he's going through a little bit of stuff at the moment, and we was talking on the way back, and he said, you know what? He said, the reason why I still do this, he said, one, I don't know what effect it'd have on my life if I didn't do it, because as you know, when you're a footballer, some people don't understand it, but it does take up 50% of your life in regards to how it makes you feel. And if you just need that break away from whatever's going on in life, like he said, you know I can go out there, I can play my 90 minutes of football. I've got my social element in the morning, up before the game, and then afterwards having a couple of drinks with with your pals. And he says it makes me switch off, and I certainly relate to that. I mean, I'd say I look forward more to football now than I did when I was actually playing, semi-pro level. I'm every week, who have we got? What's going on with football? I'm more committed now than I've ever been. And anybody that sort of knows me will tell you that is definitely the case as you become a veteran. And I do, yeah. I think it has a great positive effect on your mental health. That's for sure. I mean, it does for me, and I know speaking to others, they say the same.
Let's go on to point number 3, a good social focus.
Yeah. Again, I'm sort of relating to what our side has and our setup, but there's just organised nights out. Before, I mean, I'm not sure why they've stopped doing it, but we used to, when we was Slayer, I mean, I was only involved in the first sort of trip, but they used to do trips to a place called Milan in Belgium. And every year at the end of the season, all the boys got together, would go out there. It was a bit of a music festival, and there was like games, football matches, like a little tournament type thing. And everyone used to go and do that. I mean, we never used to do that. I never used to do that when I was playing open age football. And the amount of different nights that the club gets together for the vets, and they incorporate it with the first team. I mean, all the vets get discounted tickets for the games, for the first team games. And yeah, our social element within our club is brilliant. It's great. And I think, again, having a good social catch up with the people you grew up and played football with, it's enjoyable. You still stay in touch with a lot of friends that you can quite easily drift from. So I think the social focus is massive with vets football, definitely.
And what I found as well with Catford is that if you have a social element, you start to talk to people outside of the kind of football realm, and then you have a different respect and a different appreciation of certain individuals. So then when it does come to football, you're willing to even probably run the extra 5-10 yards for your teammate, because there's that more mutual respect.
Touching on that, actually, which is quite funny, ironically, within our vets team, when you say about meeting different people, when we was sort of open age, there was a lot of players within our vets team currently were rivals on a Sunday morning. We weren't allowed to play Sunday mornings, but we all did. It was just one of them things, and then you'd get injured and you'd have to blag why you was injured. But our team is mixed up now between 2 of the big rivals that used to play on a Sunday, that used to play on a Saturday with each other. So it's like now they've sort of come together and everyone gets on. And like you say, you play against people you used to play against when you was younger, and they used to be your enemy on the football pitch when you was younger. And then you find out you know, like I say, one of them might be a builder that you're going and doing work for, and you're teaming up and making connections outside of football, and it's all laughed about. You know, you have a laugh and you talk about the old days, but it just moves on. And like I say, whenever we've come up to London, afterwards come back to the pub, you know, come and sit down and have a beer and a bit of food. It's great. You don't get that, although you do get the rivalry, but I think you get, you know, as you grow up, I think you start to respect people a little bit more in terms of football, and you know, you're not going out there kicking lumps out of each other as much. Well, to a degree anyway.
Yeah, so true. Yeah. Point number 4, a strong foundation.
So yeah, I think when you look at vets teams, I mean, again, especially ours, we've got such a good foundation above the vets level, if you like. Great facilities. Like I say, ages from kid football all the way up to vets football. We are within a club. We literally, you can start out as a youth player, and there's an avenue all the way through, and you can carry on playing till you're playing walk-in football. So I think if you're talking about success within a vets team, it is good to have a base core, good foundation within the team, a good structure. And I think vets teams can pretty much, can sustain themselves and go on for years. There's obviously a few clubs that probably just have a vets team. I mean, there's obviously quite a lot up in London. I think I'm not too sure there's many that are they registered with a first team and stuff. I'm not too sure. But for us, we've got, from young age all the way up, it's good to have a good, strong foundation to be able to continue and keep playing.
Yeah, I believe, and I've said this on numerous occasions. If you want to create a good team, then just have your first team, which is great. But if you want to create a legacy, make sure that you have a conveyor belt of a youth team, an open age, vets, super vets, walking football, because then you don't have to rely on players trying to get their friends in. Because of course, everyone gets older, everyone's got different responsibilities, and actually what I've found is that teams that just have one team literally have a lifespan of anything between 4 to 6 seasons, and then after that they just pack up because of responsibilities. But if you have a conveyor belt, you're not just relying on your mate's uncle to actually come in. You've literally got an amazing wealth, or literally an amazing availability of players who are going to 34, 35, 36, who are now ready to kind of go into your vet system.
And our saying, literally, I think it was about 2 months ago, our 45s, they done a football match day at our ground against Tottenham Hotspur vets, and they came down and played our 45s. I think they got beat 10-1. I think they had Pascal Chimbonda, and there was quite a few, but I think there's about 3,000 people come and watch that, which, I think the good thing is with it as well, having that foundation, is I think fans still appreciate the players that maybe used to play for the first team and would want to come and still watch, I wonder if he's still got it. I think, like I say, I think there's about 3,000 people, and it was a massive success for the club, which was brilliant. So, yeah, I think, it's definitely, if you can have a good foundation and then have a vets team added to a side, I think it's brilliant. I think it's really good for the team.
And how is the communication from, I'd say, the chairman and the founder to the vets side of it?
Well, the chairman he's recently taken over. So there was a lot of drama at Herne Bay Football Club only a couple of years back. That's all sort of sorted itself out. And the chairman now, who's new, he was one of the players of the vets. So he plays still for, I believe, the 45s. But he was one of our vets players that got businesses involved in his own business. And he's really pushing Herne Bay onto the next level at the moment. They've come really, really far. But he was a vets player. So he's well in touch. He still plays vets football. And he really does include us within the club, which is brilliant.
Yeah, amazing. And point number 5, mentality.
This one's more towards, I would say, being a successful football team on the pitch. I think, again, with ourselves, I think anybody that plays football and they want to go out and win, the mentality is there to win. And I don't think that matters what age you are. I think whatever age you are, you want to win, don't you? I mean, it's great for the enjoyment and it's great to get involved. But with our team, our mentality within our team, we've got a good, strong side, and the mentality and the mindset is in there to still win a game of football. And I think getting it across to sort of people that don't know too much about vets football, I think that people would be pleasantly surprised if they come out and watch some of the vets games on how much drive there is for players out there to still go out and win. And I think I messaged you the other day about the players that are out there. Some of the vets players out there are still absolutely obscene. You know, and I think if you have that mentality when you're younger, that winning mentality, I think you know, it does definitely still carry through into vets football.
Yeah, so true. And actually, what I've realized is that age is just a number. You know, if you're willing to work hard, if you know you're willing to surround yourself with amazing people, you can do amazing things.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely. Like I said, some of the players we've come up at vets level, especially as we've travelled into London. You know, down our way, we were sort of, a lot of our players are known as people that have played a good level down here. So, they're going to be the best vets team. But when you come up and travel up to London and play against some of your teams, the London teams, the Southern teams, you just realise there's still some absolute ballers out there. Some of the players we've come up against up in London, you sort of, you're in awe really, because the ability's still there. And I think a lot of them could still probably play and be paid, to be honest, which is great. You know, it's good for vets football.
And what is your opinion about the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, like the Messis, and like even closer to home, like the Kyle Walkers, who are now playing into their, you know, like 35s, 36, you know, I'd say like the late 30s.
I think the game's changed, hasn't it? That's the thing. I think, you know, when we were sort of younger, shall I say, I don't think there was so much on the sort of looking after yourself. I mean, players these days get absolutely scanned, health checked. They have to eat the right foods. And I know that's been around for a little while, but, you know, when you've got players that can still do it at that age, I can imagine that coaching and nutritionists or whatever the clubs have got in place, they're going to try and keep them players playing as long as they can. Because one thing, I think I was speaking to my friend the other day, and I do think certain players nowadays, it's a lot revolved around being quick, energetic, healthy, fit. I do generally think the quality of player has dropped from people, you know, 10 years ago. I don't know if you looked at the Ballon d'Or top 10 and then it showed 10 years ago, the Ballon d'Or top 10. And I was looking at the list of now compared to the list of back then when you had Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Ronaldo, all these players. And I was thinking the quality's not the same, but I think the levels that go in behind the scenes of keeping these players fitter, playing longer, you know, less injuries and stuff like that, I think that's just gone up another level, really. But you know, you've got to hold your hat off to, I mean, Ronaldo's still doing what he's doing. I know it's in the lower league, but fair play to him. I mean, players, I always say play as long as you can, because when you stop, that's it. It's the ride's over, isn't it? Herne Bay Vets have sort of formed originally from a vets team called Slayers, run by a gentleman called Mark Kidd. He basically got us involved with Herne Bay Football Club, which is, I think, the first team plays at step 4. They're a semi-pro team. A lot of our players that joined Slayers, when they started to become half a decent side, a good little setup, if you like, had already played for Herne Bay Football Club at semi-pro level. And because of that connection, Mark sort of went to Herne Bay Football Club and said, well, you know, rather than us just be a vets team, due to the players that we had that had played for the first team over different periods, could we not be affiliated to the main club? And it's gone from strength to strength, to be fair, ever since we've gone, you know, and formed with Herne Bay. As you know, when you've got a club like that, you've got sort of like a conveyor belt of players and ages that can go on and play different levels of football. So, yeah, that's pretty much us. We play in a local league that's, without being disrespectful, it's not very challenging for us as a team, but it's vets football, and it's a platform to go on to other competitions and stuff like that. So it's good. Personally, I've sort of played semi-pro level at that sort of level. So ever since I was, probably from the age of about 18, 19. Before that, as a kid, I had in and out of playing football. I wasn't really fully committed to football at youth level. But then sort of from 18 onwards, I played sort of semi-pro level up until I was about 38, 37, 38, I think, at step sort of 4, sort of down our way. It's classed as like the Ryman South League. So yeah, you know, it's semi-pro, get paid and stuff. And then, yeah, sort of didn't want to stop, but the wife wouldn't allow me to continue at that level because of the sort of travelling around 2-3 times a week. And, you know, although you got paid a bit of money, it was, as you know, it's not really warranting the sort of time you're away. So, yeah, done that till about 38. And then now I just still play Sunday pub football with friends, and we play for the Vets on a Saturday as and when we have games. So, yeah. I think the first year we entered it was about 3 or 4 seasons ago, and we didn't know it even existed. But our good friend Owen Williams, he brought it to our attention that he was on, I think he was in part of another group with you guys, and we was trying to get better competition. And we didn't realise what the competition was going to be like, to be honest. And we ended up entering. And the first year, I think we had quite a good run to the quarterfinals. I don't think we played anybody that was, you know, I wouldn't say no good, but we thought, oh, this is okay. This is just like down our way. And then we come up against a team called Sporting Kits. I don't think they're going anymore, are they?
No.
And they were good. They were a good side. And we got knocked out 1-0 for whatever reason. And then after that, we coming up against them, we was like, God, you know what? If that's the quarterfinal, what other teams are in this competition? So every year we decided the London Cup was going to be one of our competitions we entered. And I think the following year we entered and we beat LSU, which was probably one of the best games at Vets football I've ever played in or been involved in, because they were next level. I mean, very, very good side. Everyone in the team. I think they had a couple of ex-pros in there, and it just whets the appetite a bit to play against better teams. So we've entered it sort of, the last 4 years, I think, just because you know that there's better competition out there, and you want to test yourself. So Herne Bay Vets our Herne Bay website, which is Herne Bay Football Club. Like I say, I think they play at step 4 now. We're on the website. We're part of the website. We have a guy called Mark Kidd. He basically runs the whole vet setup. He used to be our manager at our team, and then he got involved a lot with the club itself. And now I think he just looks over. I think he's a director of the main club, but he looks over the whole vet setup. Like I say, I've pulled away from management now. I'm more just playing. Like I said, playing more the games that I can play to try and be a little bit more at home. My boys both play football now as well on a Saturday morning, and our league is a Saturday morning most times. So I'm more doing that. But generally speaking, I mean, we have got a social media team. We're on social media. We're on all the platforms. They've really upped it this year. So basically your normal platforms, really, social media, online, things like that.